So we have some new controversy within the Division 2, and I'm not surprised. They've been talking about it for such a long time. But basically, there was an image that came up on their Twitter, and they released this image, like basically a message. They released it before they actually finished the maintenance to implement the new apparel event. Also the one like title update 18.2. And this message from the dev team, I'll pop it up on screen. It says, "We want to take a moment to address an important matter concerning the Descent game mode. We are aware that certain players have been exploiting a bug in the game that allowed players to join another player already in Descent through the Ubisoft Connect interface and gain unfair amounts of XP and shade levels. We take these issues very seriously and are committed to maintaining a fair and enjoyable gaming environment for all players. We have thoroughly investigated the situation and identified individuals who have systematically used the exploits. As a result, we will be imposing appropriate sanctions on the players involved in accordance with our policies. First-time offenders who have exploited this feature will receive a 2-week suspension starting immediately and will be unable to play at the Division 2 during this time. Furthermore, sanctioned players' accounts will be flagged and any further offence will result in an increased suspension duration. Multiple offences will result in a permanent suspension. We will also be taking action to roll back illegitimate players' progression. Sanctioned players' accounts will be rolled back, causing all account progress through the exploit to be reset. We believe it is crucial to ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed and compete on a level playing field. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. We are committed to upholding the spirit of our game and providing you with the best possible gaming experience." The Division 2 development team. So, they have rightfully banned players that are exploiting the Descent XP shade level, like exploit, bug, whatever you want to call it. But it's caused an uproar within the community because you date back to years and years ago with the turret damage glitch. And people like me, I was promoting it on my YouTube channel. I was showing people how to do the actual glitch. We called it a glitch at the time. They saw it as an exploit, even though it was a mechanic that they messed up in the first place. It was their fault. It was there in the game. We took advantage of it. Never used, like me personally, never used it in PvP or whatever. But they only went round and banned, like, I'm going to say specific people. I never got banned for using the damage glitch, and I promoted it on my channel and everything. So it was really, really unfair because there was also people being banned that never actually used the damage glitch. So there's a lack of trust already with the systems they have in place. I personally have not used this Descent XP exploit, whatever they're calling it. So I don't have a ban on my account. I don't have a single one, even though I used the damage glitch. And that's already going to cause some form of uproar. But not only that, they stated with the damage glitch years ago, if you are caught with repeat offences, you will be permanently banned. And there have been a few times they've banned a bunch of players, and none of them have ever been permanently banned from the game. So there's a lack of actual enforcement on what happens to the players. The consequences aren't as bad as they maybe should be. And if you're going to sit there and cry about being banned, then don't fucking exploit in the first place. It's just a simple thing to grasp. If you don't want to be banned, don't use the exploits. And if you're going to come up with the excuse that you don't believe it's an exploit, blah, 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 then read into the history of the game. These developers don't care. They'll happily just ban you and roll back your account. Not only that, but the players that haven't done anything are also facing consequences because now on the Thursday, like 18.2 came out on the Tuesday, now on the Thursday, the 6th of July, they are having to put out a maintenance, which is going to be estimated to be down for 3 hours, in order to set the rollbacks up for the account. So players that haven't done anything are having to have the game offline for 3 hours, which is basically paying for those that have exploited the game. And these developers are always happy to say, like, for a pure example, you exploit in our game, you're banned from the game. But when it comes to things like, oh, we've taken your premium credits for a textile purchase, or your season pass isn't working, we're not going to give you any compensation. I believe the level of enforcement has to work both ways or none. If they're going to be banning players and rolling back their accounts, they also need to be providing compensation for things that they've messed up with in the first place that's affected the player in a negative way. I believe with the damage glitch, it was a 1-week ban and a 2-week rollback. This is even more significant because this is a 2-week suspension and they are rolling back your account by a month if I've got it correctly. Because at the time of recording, we're on the 6th of July and they were supposed to get Year 5, Season 1, Broken Wings released on June 7th, but they had issues with the maintenance. It took them until the 8th to actually get it added into the game. So about a month, these players have had their accounts rolled back. But then there's also the conversation like popping up, why are they even bothering with these bans in the first place? No one cares about this game anymore. It's a dead game. It's a shit game. There are still people that play this game every single day. I get a lot of comments. I make a video talking good about the game, talking bad about the game, and I get a comment saying, oh, dead game. But there are still people that play this game every single day. So it might be dead to someone personally, but overall this game is far from actually being a dead game. If you look at something like Outriders, that is a dead game. They're struggling to get like 400 players concurrently in a day at the weekends when it's peak gaming time. So I feel as though the bans are deserved. If you're going to be exploiting in the game, then you deserve to be banned if you're caught. That doesn't mean try it and hope and pray you don't get caught, but also the rollbacks, I believe they're deserved as well. The problem with it is they don't do things where like they don't enforce rules in every part of the game. And I think that's another part of the controversial topic, because in the Dark Zone, there has been cheaters for years. I've seen video after video of people full-on hacking this game, playing in the Dark Zone, having infinite, like, rockets being fired at enemy players and stuff. And it probably doesn't happen too often. But when it does happen, there is nothing done to these players that are actually full-blown hacking, not just exploiting a bug that the developers didn't, like, have any awareness of when they first added the game mode into the game. This is, like, full-blown, you're basically using like cheat engines and stuff, bypassing anti-cheat security systems and everything like that. But they don't do anything about it. And not only that, people are obviously going to be annoyed because they're happy to ban your account, they're happy to roll you back, but they won't fix major issues like the crashing on PC. So they're happy to say, oh, look at us, we can do whatever we want, we're going to ban you if you're caught exploiting in our game, but they don't have the time to actually care about the players in the first place and fix major issues. So there's lots and lots of controversy, in my opinion, around the decision to ban players. I believe it's a good one, but at the same time, if they're going to be banning and rolling back accounts, they also need to be like up to scratch with looking after the game and making sure it's working properly in the first place. Because you think about it, the exploit became available on the 8th of June. And it took them a month to do anything about it. So for an example, I'm not saying this should have been the case, but for an example, they could have notified everyone a week after the exploit was around, saying, we're keeping an eye on our data. If you're using the exploit after this point, we will ban your account. But within the first week, we're not going to do anything about it because it's our fault that's in the game in the first place. But yeah, I think a bunch of people have been banned for it. They're getting their accounts rolled back. I think it's fully deserved. If you're going to go and you're going to cheat your way through your XP and your shade levels, then you deserve to be banned. Like people years ago, there was something going on with the target practice and people were abusing that for XP, and there was a lot of people that believed those players should have been banned and stuff. Like, I think it's just the Division 2. Like the way the game works as a whole, I think there are so many problems in the game that people are just, like, basically, the community's being divided. It is the division of the community because people are against each other in some form. And it seems as though people are often trying to fight against the developers. I mean, I've done so many rants and stuff on this game in the past, and I get comments all the time. Oh, you hate this game, but you're still playing it. I don't hate the game whatsoever. I love the game. It's a one of a kind, the one in a million title. There's nothing out there like it. I don't like what the developers do with the game. I'm against the development team because it's pretty much just a skeleton crew. They never get anything out on time. They're constantly delaying things. They mess up the maintenance. They have so many major issues in the game. They still haven't fucking fixed Countdown, and the mode's been out for well over a year. But it's not just delta errors that happen in Countdown. If you look at this gameplay, one of the objectives bugged. We started the match with 2 players disconnecting before we even got into it, so we couldn't complete the run entirely, and by the end everyone got fed up with the fact that it broke. We was left with 2 players, and we died to the hunters. It's unacceptable to have this sort of stuff in the game if they're going to be chucking out bans and everything. They need to keep up the quality as well as the consequences. Descent was mediocre. They was having all this feedback given to them in the form of videos and posts on the forums and stuff from the PTS. They did nothing with it. In fact, by the time they released the Descent, they had buffed up the enemies and they had nerfed the player. And that leaves me a little bit worried as well, because I've seen people really enjoying this game again, using, I don't even know what it's called, I'm just going to take a guess at what I've seen. I think it's the St. Elmo's AR or something like that. It's a new weapon in the game and people are really, really enjoying builds with it. But because there are so many content creators that are abusing the builds for views and stuff, because, you know, people have been covering the same builds for the last 4 years on this game. Because of that, I've got a feeling there's going to be a nerf coming to that AR. So it's going to ruin the gameplay again for a lot of players. And people can say, I don't think they're going to nerf it, they're going to let us be powerful. Have a fucking laugh. Honestly, these developers do not care about how much fun you're having in the game. They want to take it as seriously as they possibly can. And that's driven away so many players. It's driven away from this game. I remember back in the day, you could search for legendary, heroic, challenging. You would be finding matches left, right, and center. But now, just because of the development of the game and their lack of care and their lack of ambition and creativity and stuff, so many people don't bother with this game anymore. They think one incursion, a tiny DLC, and things like that are going to bring players back to the game, but it really isn't. And I've spoken to a lot of people in the comments. People have said, do they really honestly think that's going to bring players back to the game? And no, it's not. I don't think they care about this game that much anymore, because if they did care, I don't think they would be banning and rolling back accounts at this stage. They know the effects, the impact that causes, because they lost a load of players when it came to the damage glitch and everyone was having fun. But that's all the community's ever wanted in this game, is to have fun. And that's everything the developers have taken away from the player. They are constantly putting, I don't care if it's live service, they are constantly putting nerfs and stuff out there. And I did a video talking about the possibilities of the Division 3, and I'm going to say 85% of the comments are people saying they can make Division 3 all they want, I'm not buying it. I'm done with the franchise, they've absolutely killed the experience. So while I do believe it's deserved, the players face the consequences, they face the music, they pay the price for their actions and stuff, I believe they should have been banned and rolled back for the exploiting with the Descent mode. I know a lot of people don't believe that should have happened. A lot of people are like, what is the point at this stage in the game? There are just so many different topics that are popping up. I thought I'd get my opinion out there. Everyone should have been banned and rolled back for using the exploit. But at the same time, I believe the developers should be focusing their efforts elsewhere at the same time, fixing Countdown Delta errors, fixing crashes on PC, adding variety and replayability to the Descent mode instead of leaving it as this mediocre bare bones take down the Nemesis and there's no fucking point mode. But yeah, that's it for this video, and that's exactly what I think of the huge ban wave that's just happened in the Division 2. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.